Welcome to Postscript. Here we hope to answer your questions and help you dig deeper into the messages and sermons at Faithbridge by talking with the teacher of the day.
Hi, and welcome to Postscript. I'm Luann Riley, Grow Group and Discipleship Director, and I'm here with Bible teacher Ben Stuart, who just talked about eternal impact made through everyday people. Welcome,
That's right.
Ben.
Thanks.
Good to have you back.
Thank you.
And so the message today just looked at Acts 8, and we talked about spreading the gospel and our responsibility as everyday people to share Jesus with people that we know. And you told so many great stories of the full range of emotions it can bring, from awkwardness at times to just seeing God show up in such an amazing way.
Yeah.
Ken talked about before the sermon, just as we move into 2017 as Faithbridge, we're going to take a more practical look at discipleship and a lot of things, including giving, but also including sharing the gospel and evangelism.
Yeah.
If you were to tell me, who was just trying to get started with sharing the gospel, I feel it today, like I know I'm called to do this.
Yeah.
I want to tell people about what Jesus is in my life, but I feel like I
Yeah.
don't know where to start.
Right.
How could you help me?
Yeah. For me, it was just, in my experience, putting a lot of pressure on myself of I have to get them from zero to through a systematic theology conversation. In conversation one, usually made everything weird for everybody. So I took the pressure off myself in that sense, but put it on in the other sense of going, Lord, I want to be used by you today, and may I be open to that. And Lord, help me see people, care about people. So I would say to start there, just as you're walking into your everyday life, begin to pray for that. And then what happens is you tend to take a genuine interest in other human beings. When you say, hey, how are things going? They're like, oh, it was a rough weekend. You don't go, sorry to hear it, man. And then leave. You go, oh, man, I'm sorry. What happened? And you begin to press in. And it's like a doctor who asks diagnostic questions. It's the more he asks, the more accurately you can see where you're hurting and apply the balm there. So to me, getting to know people, asking them questions helps me know how to speak to them directly. And then there's very natural ways to get into it. Of when someone's sharing with you your life, you can say, hey, I'm going to pray for that for you. And, and I think for some people, you even ask them what, as if it's just normal conversation, what's your spiritual background, things like that, getting to know people. But there will come a point where if you're living that kind of life, people are going to ask you what's going on with you. They always do. And at that point, you don't want to take the position where you go, we're just really sweet people. I see so many Christians do that, and they just sort of say, oh, we're just really nice guys. Rather than missing that opportunity, I think of sharing the truth through your life. So I take a genuine interest in you, and then when you give me an opportunity to speak, I'm going to speak the truth, but through my life. So an example, my sister and her friend met a group of guys once in Europe, and the guys found out they were Christians, and one of them's like, I don't even know how you can believe that. I just don't know how you can believe that. Christians have done this and this, and the Crusades, and the political climate, and this election. You're trying to take freedom, and he got himself all riled up. And my sister said it was amazing to watch my friend hear all that, and she didn't get baited into any of it, didn't condescend into any of it. But when he was done, she just said, I don't have anything to say about any of that. And I don't know what your experience has been. I just know for me, when I look at the man, Jesus Christ, there's nobody else like him. And the more I've come to know him and trust him, he's changing my life. And Mandy said the tone changed. Because he's not going to say to that, well, you're an idiot. There's not really there's nowhere to hit your sword against them at that point. And Mandy said, over the course of that conversation, he began to say towards the end, I wish I had what you have. I want what you have. Total tone shift, because it was sharing your story. This is how God has impacted my life. So even if you go, I don't know if I have confidence to explain to them the Bible and its nuances, I don't know how to answer these questions, don't answer them. Just say what you know. Say, I know God, and I know he's changed my life, and I really would like you to know Jesus like I do. No one's going to say, well, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. They usually, it de-escalates. Now, behind that, I would say, get to know what you believe. And, here you can join a community group, get some training on what are the basic essential aspects of the gospel. Jesus really lived a perfect life. He really died. That death accomplished something. It paid the penalty, the debt of our sin. Faith in him, we have life. Learn a couple Bible verses. We would give kind of a resource to our team leaders at Breakaway that gave them about 6 Bible verses to memorize. Just start with John 3:16 and teach that. So I wouldn't overthink it, but be open to talking about God, and you'll see the conversation move. Be open to talk about Jesus. Learn what you believe in a community, in small groups, and be courageous.
It's good.
I don't know. Does that help?
It's very helpful. And I think, if anything, come to us at Faithbridge and connect to community.
Absolutely.
Go through the starting point class, the different things that we have here. I know one thing that's great about my Grow Group is we're always praying for each other for opportunities with particular people in their lives. But it's also good when you come back and you either hear a story where God was, or you hear someone say, it didn't go good. Can you guys pray for me and help me figure out what the next step is? Like, don't try to go all of this alone.
Yeah.
And have support and community.
And for me, what I would often tell people, which is what I do, is like we were praying for an opportunity to meet our neighbors. And at Thanksgiving, my neighbor ran across the street to meet me because I was frying a turkey. And I didn't go, here's the chance. I got to get through the fact that Jesus was the ontological second person of the Trinity and that his death was substitutionary atonement. I was like, I can't do that. He knows I'm a pastor, but all my friends are in my house. I'm going to have him meet my people, and he's going to see people who love Jesus are wonderful people, and my people get it. So we all sat around, talked with him. He's going on and on about his family, and we just got to know him, and it was awesome. And it was like, you know what? We weren't trying to get all the way there in this conversation of what do you think about Jesus. I'd love to talk to him about that, but I just invited him into our social sphere. And sometimes that's the great first start. Yeah. Let him meet some nice Jesus people.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I love how you talked about the angels being the messengers of Christmas and of the message. And now we are that to the world. Yeah. And such a great message. So thank you. And thanks for being back here with us. And thank you for being here for Postscript. We'll see you back here next week.
Thanks for joining us for Postscript. Help us keep the podcast interactive by submitting your questions during the morning services. Learn more at faithbridge.org/postscript.